It's VJ here with Flex Sport. We're joined by Dominic Ingle just after the live press conference. It was a lively one, that, wasn't it?
Do you think it was lively? Did you enjoy it, or was it a bit? I thought it was a bit subdued, to be honest.
Well, it was lively when you livened it up.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for you livened it up. You got under Max skin a bit, brought him to life. But
Surprised. I was expecting a bit more from him. He kind of. But you get that, don't you? You get people who are good on camera shouting and bawling. And then when you see him in the flesh, they're kind of quiet. And when he started off, he was a bit quiet and a bit subdued. And I thought, is he a bit jet lagged, or is he just waiting for somebody to rattle his cage? And I thought, I expected a bit more, so I put the stick in a little bit and got a bit back. It was good. He livened it up. We got a bit of a shouting match. I didn't understand a lot of what he was saying though, because he was speaking too quickly. But he got it opened up a bit, didn't it?
It's all part of it. It's all part of the games and all part of the
game. It's all part of the game.
So moving on to Kel, how's preparations been? I know you've been over in Fuerteventura, which is the usual place where your training camps take place. How's this been different to the previous ones, and how's Kel's performance been during camp?
Been different from the point that in previous times we've done 3 weeks in Fuerteventura, then we've done 3 weeks in Sheffield, and we've maybe 3 weeks in mainland Spain. We've chopped and changed it to keep it interesting for Kel, keep him motivated. That's what we did for Sean Porter. We had 3-week camps in various places to keep it fresh and not get stale. But this time we spent 7 weeks in Fuerteventura. Kel's got a villa out there now, swimming pool, nice quiet resort, and it was a bit like a lad's holiday in that sense. There was 4 of us: me, Kid Galahad, Greg Merritt, the nutritionist, and Kel. And we had a laugh. We were watching movies every night. We did the training hard. We had the food. We had a laugh and a joke. But we got the work done in the gym. It was serious business, and it was very, very enjoyable. And I think that's what Kel needed at this stage. And he said to me afterwards, we got back to Sheffield last week. He said in the gym last week, he was skipping away and he laughed and he went, "It's been a right camp, and I've enjoyed it." And he was smiling. Whereas at that point, you just think, you can see him thinking, "I just want to get in the ring, get the fight done, win the fight, get my money and done." But he went, "You know what? Depending on how this fight goes, I'm going to do this again because I've mentally overcome, the part of training, because training is a grind. You've heard Mia Khan saying it's a grind. He's been away from his family. He's been away from his missus. He's put the grind, but he's only done that for like 12, 14 weeks. We've been training since the summer. And Kel's been in a very good place to start this camp, so it was enjoyable for us. We've enjoyed it, we've had a great time, but the focus was always on getting the work done, and I think that reflected in the way he approached the training camp, the sparring that he did, the weight loss. And when you see him on the scales tomorrow, Amir's happy that he's got his 6-pack. Kel's got a 10-pack. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's got a 10-pack. So that's a reflection. When you can enjoy eating the proper food. I've seen clips of Khan, trying to shovel the food down, and I'm thinking, Kell Brook would eat that in 2 spoonfuls. Like, how can you struggle to eat when you're training hard, you're motivated? The meals that Kell Brook's been going through is like phenomenal, really. So you'll see him when he takes his shirt off tomorrow. He's probably in a better shape than when he fought Sean Porter.
You can see the difference already in how he looks. Like, one of the main things, I'm a big Kell Brook fan, and one of the main things for me was that I was concerned about was the weight. But seeing him yesterday, the public workout, how trimmed down he looked, how smooth he looked, how he was moving around, it's taken a lot of those concerns away. And I just want to touch on a couple of things as well that you said just then about him enjoying the camp. It's clear to see from the last press conference to now he's a totally different person.
He is a totally different person. I mean, you look at that, that's not going on camera, but you've only got to look at that photo, and what does that tell you? That's 3 weeks ago. He's not struggling for the weight, is he? He looks in fantastic shape. So, he's matured now in his mind. Before, it's almost like you're a bit resentful of the fact you've got to do your job. And you've got to be a boxer, put yourself through, to be away from the luxuries of life. Well, Amir's been having a great time for the last couple of years since he boxed Crawford or Billy Dibb. He's been swanning about in Dubai, and he's been doing TV, and he's at that point, it's very difficult to switch your life around and go back into training. It takes you weeks and weeks to adapt. And there's no doubt he's put himself through it for what he thinks he's put himself through at the stage he is and the age he is. But he won't have put himself through it like he did when he was training with Freddie Roach. He won't have. It's impossible at his age, and what he's been doing, he can't do that. The one thing I'll say about Kell Brook is, what has amazed me over the years with Kell Brook is that his response to training has never been diminished. His lust for training and to compete and to win and to push himself through it has never changed. He's never like, "Oh, we don't need to do that today. Can we have a day off? Can we do?" It's like, "What are we doing today?" "Well, we're having a rest today." "Oh, I need to do something." "Oh, we'll go for a walk then." You know what I mean? The only difference about this age training is that you do need a bit more rest time in between sessions. To perform well, you need a bit more rest. And that's what he's had, and that's what he's done.
Do you think Amir Khan's underestimating this fight, underestimating Kell Brook and what he's going to bring to the table? He seems quite calm, and I don't know if that's a little bit of complacency and underestimation, as I said. What do you make on that?
I don't think. Look, Amir Khan's boxed all his life. You know, it's not something I've done. It's not something you've done. We look at it different. For them, it's like riding a bike, driving a car. That's what their life's been. It's like getting in, getting punched in the face, taking the risk, getting knocked out, knocked down, damaged, whatever it is. That's what you do. We accept that. I think your first loss is always going to be the hardest thing to deal with. After that, you just have a coping mechanism. You'll take the risk and understand that you are fallible. You can get beat, and then it's a case of adjusting to that in your life. But I just can't understand why he's actually took this fight. I don't think he needed to take this fight. He's had almost 2.5 to 3 years since his last competitive fight. He's got plenty of money, so he says. He's on TV. He's got a different lifestyle. Why does he need to do this at 35? It's all risk for Amir Khan. All right, he's getting a lot of money, but he's already got money. So how much is a bit more money? Is it worth risking your health for? Is it worth risking your reputation for? Not really. Not really. It isn't. For Kell Brook, it's a fight he's always needed. He's been chasing Kell Brook much in the same way that Junior Witter was chasing Ricky Hatton. He never got that fight. And why would you? Ricky Hatton had 2 massive fights with Manny Pacquiao, with Floyd Mayweather. Made a fortune. What did he need Junior Witter for? Realistically, Amir Khan didn't need Kell Brook. Kell Brook needed Amir Khan. And Amir Khan's given him the chance at this stage. And, you know, it's fantastic for us because that's the fight that Kell Brook needed. It's not a fight that Amir Khan needed.
And it's like you said as well, he's revitalised in this camp. So if he does go on to win, which we hope he does, then who knows, there might be another fight on the card for Kell.
It could be. They're talking about other fights, you know. They're talking about Eubank Jr., they're talking about other fights. We'll see, won't we? We'll just see on the night. We'll know in the first couple of rounds how it's going to go. You know, all fighters will look good for the first 4 rounds. It's going to be the mid-4 rounds where it's going to be, you know, we're going to see who's going to win, who's weathered the storm better, who's in better shape, who's better, you know, prepared for battle. That's when we'll know. The first 4 rounds, you know, it's up for anybody really. So, you know, we'll see.
Another domestic name that always gets thrown about in this division is Conor Benn. How do you think Kell would do against a young and hungry fighter like Conor Benn?
He's a rising star at the minute, Conor Benn, and they're matching him very well. He's had some good wins. You know, Chris Algieri hit him with that big overhand right and got him out of there. They sparred together, Kell and Conor. And I said, what do you think, Kell? He went, you know what, he's basic, but he's just got something about him. I couldn't put my finger on it. It was a very competitive spar. And that'd be an interesting fight. But they never, you know, they don't admit, you know, when you're talking to fighters, they won't admit anything about, well, he got better side of me, I got better side. They kind of keep it in the mind spinning around, because to admit it, you know, is a different thing. It's almost accepting whether it was a good spar for him or a good spar for Conor. So it could be a fight. I don't think it's on Conor's list really, because, you know, I think they're moving him in a different direction. I think they are. They're going to. He's really got to be fighting for a world title, and I don't think Kell Brook is on the path Conor needs to take to get to a world title fight. They're going to take the easiest route to the world title fight. You know, that's what they're going to do. You would do, and it could be too much of a fight. You know, it could be a slippery banana skin for Conor Benn at that point.
Just a couple of last questions before we wrap up. Obviously, we're not going to ask for you to give away any game plans or anything, but how do you predict this fight going? What do you think is going to happen?
I predict Kell Brook win. There could be a knockout. If it comes, it comes. It's not something that's going to get forced. It's just going to be a natural progression of a fight. So, you know, it's not. We're not going out with the intention to solely just drop one shot in for a knockout situation. But you're always setting up. A situation to try and knock somebody out or hurt somebody or drop them or, you know, put them at a disadvantage. So, you know, that's the plan, just like it is with Khan. You know, Khan might want to box on the back foot, trying to keep out of the way for 12 rounds, who knows. But, you know, we've got our plan. I know what Kell Brook does best, and that's what he's going to do.
Thank you, Brendan. Lastly, I just want to shake your hand for drinking the sweat. I know it got brought up on the press conference, but it's one of them. You're training, you're like a family. We're a good banter. I watch the programme and I say, fair play for you to doing it.
Would you drink it?
If it were in my circumstances and I were his trainer, then...
What advantage do you think you get out of it?
it's just a bond, a brotherly bond. You've caught me off guard there, Dominic.
I mean, I don't drink, so is it like when you go out with your mates and get smashed and you've done it together?
I think it's something like the army lads sort of do that sort of thing, don't they? But
I don't know. But you know, it's interesting because I was speaking to Steve Bunce and he picked up on the whole idea behind it all. And if you manage to have a talk to him, because he knows his boxing, Steve, that actual situation will have gone over everybody's heads. They won't really know what the meaning of that is. They won't know what that situation is because they don't go back far enough. You've got to go back in time to realise what that was all about, the sweat drinking. You've got to realise, and it goes back to the 70s and another fighter. But there's only Steve Bunce who actually picked up on it. So you might want to go and ask him, and you will have more insight than anybody else. But he did, and I had to congratulate him on that because I obviously know what the situation is as well. So, but in this day and age where everything's forgot a week later, social media, whatever it is, it's all throwaway stuff. The proper journalists and the historians, you know, Steve Bunce knows his stuff. I enjoy talking to Steve because there's a lot of stories, a lot of history of old trainers, old fighters. You know, training camps are about stories and bringing fighters into peak performance, and there's a story behind every win, and there's a story behind every unexpected loss. There's a story behind every unexpected win. There is the stories because it's stories in camps and our fighters live where the outcome actually, you know, manifests itself. So yeah, have a word with Steve about that one.
I will, and if I can't find it, I'll definitely be Googling it when I get back. Dominic, thank you so much for your time. Good luck on Saturday.
No problem.
Top man, cheers.